Let's add some Firebase authentication logic to this application. First, we'll need to create an account on firebase.google.com if you don't already have one. So go ahead and navigate to firebase.google.com. Now there's a difference between firebase.com and firebase.google.com. Firebase.com is the old console, but we want to use the new one, so make sure firebase.google.com looks like this for you. Once you hit this site, click Get Started for free. Now once you're in, it should look like this, and we'll be able to create a new Firebase project. So let's create a new project and call it Goal Coach. Let's check it out. Once you're in your new project, it should look like this. You can check out all of the useful features and information that Firebase provides for you, but for now we're interested in one link: add Firebase to your web app. You should see a config variable pop up. You see it? Go ahead and copy that JavaScript object. Now let's declare a new file next to our index.js called firebase.js. At the very top, we want to import everything from Firebase, so import star as Firebase from Firebase. Now we want to declare a new config variable that just looks like the one we copied. So const config equals the one that we copied from Firebase. Great. This info holds our API key that we'll use to access Firebase, our storage bucket for storing files, and importantly, the auth domain which hosts all of our authenticated users. Now, we still need to actually initialize our Firebase application. So let's declare another constant called Firebase app, which just equals firebase.initialize app on our config variable. Now other files will be interested in this constant, so let's export it. Now let's head back to index.js. We won't need the Firebase console necessarily anymore, not right now at least. And then at the very top, let's import that Firebase app variable that we declared in our Firebase file. Now we need to add a little logic for authentication. What we're going to do is add a listener that tells us whether or not a user is authenticated. Now let's declare over here on our Firebase app that we want to look at the auth status. And then we're going to add a listener on auth state changed. This returns a promise, which we can handle with a user variable. And very simply for now, we're going to check if there's an actual user. If there is, let's console log that a user has signed in or up. And let's log what that user actually is for now. Otherwise, we'll simply console.log for now that the user has signed out or still needs to sign in. Now this will be useful because if a user is signed in, then we can go ahead and navigate them to the dashboard or our application. However, if a user is signed out, we can redirect them to the sign-in component whenever they're not signed in. Awesome. Now all of this logic is great, but we still need to write up the actual sign-up component that allows a user to trigger this listener. So let's write that component next.